All right, next question. Yeah, gentleman down here.
Oh dear, I've got a serious Superman fan coming up now. He's going to ask me something. You can probably answer it better than me. Go on.
No, I was just wondering what was your best scene you did in Superman 2? Either in the theatrical version or the Donna cut?
Well, you see, you've already put me on the spot because you said in the theatrical version rather than the Donna cut. It's all a complete blur to me now. I believe that the scene that I enjoyed most, although it was hazardous for me, was the scene at the White House, which was Donna, and I came through the roof of the White House. And I remember the morning because it was a sequence where I'm throwing security men over my shoulders and shooting people and kicking people and the likes. And we had what were called teeter boards, which are like, yeah, they're like springboards. What are they called? What do kids call it? Thank you. God dear, seesaws. Thank you. So you know they've got somebody's on one end and then the other one jumps on that end and then that one shoots up in the air, and it was all perfectly set up so that when I walk into the White House, I go to the first stuntman and throw him over my shoulder, and I go to the second, and it's all timed impeccably. Unfortunately, they decided in their infinite wisdom that they would like to fire a gun at me as I'm approaching these stuntmen, and you see me being shot at. I remember very clearly, although people will deny it, but I know I was right, that they had said to me, we want the gun raised up and we want them to fire at you, and we're going to see the splay come out the end of the gun, but you're not going to react because you've got superpowers. And I remember thinking, now if they can see something coming out of the gun, surely there's something in the gun. Now, there was a shot put in it. It turned out they put too big a one. It turned out also that the gun had been laid down, and they're usually very careful in the dirt and the dust. And this was something that happened a lot on Superman. People unfortunately didn't get paid, or they suddenly lost their jobs, and so I think I'm correct in saying the person that was in charge of all the armory and the guns was not there, and it was a stunt person that had taken over for the day. I mean, the sort of things that do not happen in America, believe me, because we have such union laws. Anyway, this gun was raised up towards me, and it was fired, and at the firing point, I got a wad in my cheek. And of course, it was agony, and as I stopped to do that, every stuntman everywhere jumped onto their seesaw, and everybody crashed in. I mean, it was one of those scenes of complete mayhem where everybody crashed because I hadn't continued with the scene. We had to reset. They brought the gun up again, and I couldn't do it. And to this day, and I've done a lot of films with guns, I will not have a gun. I mean, it's one of these crazy things you do when you're young and you're keen and you don't want to make a fuss. Somebody says we want to bring a gun and fire it straight at you. It's not something that happens anymore for me. You fire it off there or you do it off there. But it caused, I mean, I had lots of little black bits of dirt, dust, whatever you want to call it, in my face here. And I went home, and my then husband, who was American, and the only reason I say was American, but Americans just seem to make a lot more fuss than we English people. And he said, you've got to do something, we've got to get the union. We go, well, my union in England was, don't make a fuss, it's a big film. All the people they're employing, just shut up and get on with it. So, you know, a lot of that happened in Superman, as you probably know. But as far as the sequence goes, I love that. I love all the throwing. I mean, every big sequence I had in Superman, there was an accident with me. Something happened to me. You know, something happened. And happened to other people as well. We had lots of injuries.